Straight out of Compton, original streets. Grew up with the lion, see what the criminals see. Now he a giant and a pivotal key. Got it down to a science, this the visual streets. He came up with Bullet, he came up with Turtle. Live life to the fullest, he put it all in the journal. We dodging them bullets, we jumping them hurdles. It's the Hood Postman, we in the streets universal.
Hood Postman, Professor Melly Mel. This is not a glorification or a glamorization. This is an education. You can go anywhere in the world and get a couple of lives, but you come right here to get the truth. Be sure to click the notification bell, like, subscribe, and share. Drop a comment down below. So when the dope content hit, it'll feel like it's the first and the 15th. Lock the door.
Professor Melly Mel, the Hood Postman. Who I'm here with today?
Oh man, you with OG Brydog, Bryd, Bones Low, D, Crippin' Bones. I got a variety of them, man.
Man, why you got so many names, bro?
Oh man, well, Brydog is my original name. Bryd I modified. Brian Darnell, my name. Bones is a name I had when I was in Palmdale. We all went up here, changed our names. You know, when y'all go out of town, everybody know whoever hustled. Bones stuck with me. And D was a name I had in Hollywood when I was out there hustling in the 80s. So, you know, got a variety of names, but, you know, Bones Loke and Bryd is the names I go by.
This for the build. So, what was the first time you ever went to prison?
1982.
What was that like?
It was intimidating when I first hit Solid.
What was the intimidation part? The fact that you were in prison, or just the idea of prison? I mean, being around unfamiliar people.
Well, when I hit Soledad, I was a teenager, and the yard was coming in. They had weights, and all these huge men were walking down the corridor, dusty, dirty from the weight pile. And I said, the first thing that went to my head is, damn, everybody here old enough to be my dad.
In 1980, did anything about your character ever come in question?
Never.
Never. And you went through all that. How many years did you do in the state?
Might as well say from 82 to 2000.
2000. At what point did you hit the feds?
I hit the feds in 03, man.
03. And what was that case?
I had to take over bank robbery.
Take over. How many co-defendants did you have?
6.
6. Out of the 6, how many was? Because there's always going to be guys that stay down, and then there's guys that go to the government. How many guys went to the government?
3.
Those 3 guys.
They in my sentencing transcripts. I bust 2 of them out.
So let me back up a little bit. When I first met you, you were living in San Pedro. That's by the beach.
That's right.
Down the street, Rockthrow. You always told me that you're going to always live by the beach. And so far, all the way it is 2024, right to this day, you still live on the beach.
Yeah.
Without question. From the time I met you, you showed me every piece of paperwork you had. I saw the names. I saw the individuals that had that mouth out bail. They didn't make bail, but they was mouthing off anyway. They decided to tell a story, right?
That's right.
At any point, did you ever come under that same scrutiny?
The only time somebody ever said something to me is when I told them my co-defendant, Jason Matthew McDowell and Anthony Alexis King, signed 5K1s to get at them. When they push up on me, they say, well, man, you the one. I said, how the hell I'm the one? And I told you, and I had to show them the paperwork, and I'm over here with you, and they over here on 5 South in Santa Ana.
Makes sense. So explain why they were in 5 South in Santa Ana.
Santa Ana is where they move dudes who cooperate with the government. They move them out of LAMDC. 5 South is where they put the dudes before they ship them. But it was regular dudes on 5 South. We just didn't know them dudes was no good.
In the integrity of gang membership or people that belong to the tribes, because there haven't ever been a time where people just blatantly say you this and that without having proof or credible resources, or black and white is what they like to call it.
Really, in the street life, that's called a death sentence, man. If you put a jacket on somebody, you can't back it up.
So where we at today, and where we at on the internet, now we see all these individuals that's saying this or that. They don't seem to have no points of reference. They listen to other individuals that doesn't know how to articulate the story, or even have statements of facts, research, data, or even ink, as we like to say. How do they formulate these ideas, or how do they come to these conclusions, bro?
Well, they got these dudes on the internet, man, that always say they got this, they got that on people. They never produce it, but they got legions of fans. And so fans gonna always go with who they idolize.
That seems to be trending because everybody seems to be following what they trend and what they idolize. And that seems to be the bigger problem. For me, it does.
Yeah, it is a big problem. It's sad that you take good dudes and you tarnish their names, and then the dudes got to fight for their names because your minions and your followers, they spread it like, it was a song by Houdini. She told the story went on, and it rolled like a wheelbarrow, something like that. And that's how it go.
Is it possible to walk a U.S. United States prison yard and don't have your paperwork?
No.
And if you don't have your paperwork, what are the consequences?
You got 45 days to get that, or you going to the hole, or you getting up out of here another way.
So how many years did you do on the USP?
8.
So you wouldn't have been able to be on the USP prison yard without having that paperwork.
You're absolutely correct. And I showed my first paperwork when I got to Victorville. I showed it to a homie named Stoney from Ducky Hood. And then I in turn showed it to a homie out of Oregon, out of Portland, from Hoover. And then when I got to Victorville, the 2 yard, I turned around and gave my paperwork to T-Dog from 6 Deuce East Coast. When I was in a USP Terre Hut, when it was a regular joint, gotta put emphasis, because it's a dropout joint now. I gave it to a dude named Fro from Panky Way Crip out of Pittsburgh. And when I got to Leavenworth, oh, by the way, I gave it to D Loke from West Side Crips in Bakersfield. Then when I got to Leavenworth, I gave my paperwork to Stone from Rolling 60s. And when I got to Bloody Beaumont, I gave my paperwork to the homie Dre from Rolling 60s out of Missouri.
So on multitudes of yards, you have always had your paperwork, showed it, people read it.
From me making no
And
statements
it
to
was
my
clear.
sentencing transcript.
For me, and I know this to be true because I've been in the feds, and everybody that I have ever encountered, they would always, before we talk or sit down, and dudes would generally just bring their paperwork. Hey, Bill, let me show you who I am. Or I say, here, man, here go my paperwork. Let me see yours. And we would swap. That's just what we did in the feds.
That was my
You
get
didn't
out.
talk to nobody in the feds unless you had that paperwork.
My thing was, if me and you hooked up, we was homies, when I saw your cell door open, I throw my paperwork on your bed. I expect the same from you.
When I first met you, I met you through Bam. I met you through Barbara T. Rogers, Trey Baby, your daughter. Hey Rue was all sitting at your spot over there by Cabrillo Beach. And you brought out 2 boxes of paperwork. You said, let me show you who I am.
Exactly.
You still carried that same attitude, that same initiative to let me show people who I am versus them thinking or hearing or feeling, so they'll know. There won't be no thought, it won't be no feeling, there won't be no assumption. It'll be, what's going on with me.
And I got my sentencing transcripts right now in my car.
You still ride around with
You're
it.
damn right, because I got 7 co-defendants. 6 co-defendants.
So when somebody put your name out there, Bride, what is the protocol for addressing it?
My protocol is produce that paperwork, or you know what comes next, and that's how we leave it like that.
So with that being said, is there anything else you can think about how, because a lot of these guys don't know how the feds is, and I know probably now it's probably somewhat watered down because they start taking paperwork. I think the feds start understanding that, man, all these guys pass paperwork. A lot of these guys can't stay on this line because their paperwork ain't right.
What I say to dudes, man, it's easy. You pick up your telephone, you download Westlaw, FindLaw. You got a Freedom of Information Act. What you want is that dude's sentencing transcript, because them sentencing transcripts gonna say any and everything that he did or didn't do. You're gonna get that. And you get that PACER docket sheet. If anything is the government requested to be filed under seal, that dude ain't no good. If it says the government requests to be filed under seal, run away from that dude.
So there's a 5K one, Rule 30, and the one you just named. What was that? The government?
If the government requests for your sentencing memorandum to be filed under seal, it's going to say the government requests sentencing memorandum to be filed under seal. Run away from it. PACER docket sheet. You can download them, you can order them, FindLaw, Westlaw. Matter of fact, you put my name in there, Brian Darnell Berkeley, University of the United States. I'm gonna come up about 5-6 times on appeals.
So when you first got to your first location and you went to committee or whatever classification, did your counselor, manager say you got what they call keepaways? What do they call them? Detained or
They call them separatees.
separatees?
Yeah.
Is that when you learn who your separatees are, or did you?
They didn't want to tell me who my separatees were.
And separatees, explain who separatees are.
Separatees are dudes like a dude who I stabbed. He's a separatee. I butchered one of my cellies. He's a separatee forever. All right. My co-defendants who got down on me, two of my co-defendants, they separatees. So they made them separatees. It's like in the county jail, we used to say keepaways.
And if need to be, you willing to break out your paperwork
Any and every time.
any every time.
All you gotta do, see me in traffic, blow your horn, I'll pull over, pop my trunk, and let you read it. Sentencing transcripts do not lie.
And they don't have to feel some way. They don't have to think about it. They can know for themselves.
Read my sentencing transcripts, and you'll see I call two of my co-defendants. I call them the government cooperating witnesses, and I mention their whole names. And if they wasn't the government cooperating witnesses, the DA would have said, objection, what are you talking about? And if I was a government cooperating witness, the DA would have said, you a government cooperating witness too. I call both of them by their full names and call them the government cooperating witnesses. These are the two that signed the 5K1. Anybody ever want to read it? Download my sentencing transcripts, they free, 27 pages.
And they get a full page.
They get a full page of my sentencing transcripts and me busting out the government cooperating witnesses.
With that being said, Professor Melly Bill Brydog,
Lock the door.
lock the door.
Cali finest, baby. Proof of grind all the time. Music money. Got a dollar sign. Hub City. I'm a street nigga. Streets fuck with me. I'ma keep pushing products till the feds get me. It's guap off top. Diamond Cartier. That nigga wall won't give a broke bitch the time of day. They see me climbing. They see me shining. That's hard work. Proof of grinding. New money got me tipping in that 550. Ali, bad man, and I'm so pretty. I got that tech with me. That's my hater sprayer. Go big, grind now, nigga, play later. What can I say? I'm addicted to this paper stacking. And I don't talk about it. I just make it happen.